Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. After every war, there are men who go home. And men who have nothing left to return to. They took his land. They took his family. What they could not take was his will to survive. This is the story of a man who refused to die, and made sure his enemies learned why. The year is 1946. World War II is over, but peace comes at a brutal price. Finland has been forced to surrender Karelia to the Soviet Union. Entire regions are wiped from the map. Homes are abandoned overnight. Families are torn apart by borders drawn with no mercy. For many, the war has ended. For some, it never truly does. Among them is Tommy Korpi, a former Finnish commando. A man forged by endless battle. To his enemies, he is not just a soldier, he is a nightmare. A legend whispered among survivors. They call him the man who refuses to die. After striking gold in Lapland, Tommy does not celebrate. He does not retire. He does not look toward the future. Instead, he turns back toward the past. He crosses the border into occupied Karelia, stepping once more onto land now claimed by his former enemies. Not to fight, but to remember. He returns to the ruins of his family home, the place where his wife and children were brutally murdered during the war. There are no bodies left. No voices. Only silence. Tommy stands among the wreckage and makes a decision. If he cannot bring his family back, he will carry what remains of them with him. He dismantles the house piece by piece, loading every plank and log onto a truck. He plans to rebuild it somewhere safe. A final act of devotion. But his presence does not go unnoticed. The Soviet patrols quickly discover that someone has crossed the border. And when they realize who it is, fear spreads. This is not an ordinary man. This is the butcher of the Winter War. The KGB knows regular soldiers will not be enough. So they reach deep into their darkest corners. From a frozen Siberian prison, they release a man even they fear. Igor Dragunov. A killer without restraint. A man shaped entirely by bloodshed. They offer him a deal. Freedom, in exchange for one life. Tommy Korpi. What Tommy does not know is that Dragunov is not just another enemy sent to hunt him. He is the man who murdered Tommy's family. Dragunov intercepts Tommy on the road west, leading a small squad of soldiers. The ambush is sudden. Gunfire explodes through the snow-covered wilderness. Tommy responds with terrifying precision. Years of war guide his hands. One by one, the soldiers fall. Within moments, the road is silent again. Only Dragunov remains. Tommy looks at him, and spares his life. An act of mercy. An act that will return to haunt him. Dragunov watches as Tommy drives away. Then he gives the order. The hunt begins. Motorized units roar through frozen roads. Infantry sweep through forests. Aircraft scour the skies. Tommy is hunted across enemy territory. But he does not flee in fear. He fights. Every encounter ends the same way, broken bodies, burning wrecks, and silence. The legend grows. Until the Soviets bring their final answer. A bomber appears overhead. Explosions tear the road apart. Tommy's truck, carrying the remains of his family's home, is driven straight off a cliff. It plunges into the freezing ocean below. For a moment, everything is still. Then, movement. Tommy rises from the depths. Bleeding. Broken. Alive. He drags himself onto the shore and recovers what remains of the shattered house. With rope and raw determination, he binds the logs together into a crude raft. Dragging his memories behind him, he sails back to land. Barely able to stand, Tommy stumbles inland. And fate places one final weapon in his path. A derelict Soviet tank, abandoned and rusting in the wilderness. With stolen dynamite and sheer willpower, Tommy prepares a suicidal assault. He launches the tank like a missile over a fortified border checkpoint. The explosion is catastrophic. The tank is destroyed. Atami is thrown violently to the ground, critically wounded. Blood pours from his body. To remain conscious, he does the unthinkable. He drives a knife blade into his own wound. Pain becomes his anchor to life. Only then is he finally captured. Dragged before Dragunov. Still breathing. Still defiant. Dragunov places Atami aboard a train bound for Siberia. During the journey, Atami is tortured. Beaten. Broken. And then Dragunov reveals the truth. It was him. He murdered Atami's wife. His children. His entire family. The words cut deeper than any blade. Something inside Atami shatters. He breaks free. Retrieves his knife. And moves through the train like death itself. Soldiers fall one after another, unable to stop him. Meanwhile, Dragunov betrays the KGB, murdering his handlers and seizing control of the train's engine. Both men race toward the same end. Inside one of the train cars, Atami discovers something impossible. A ballistic missile. Without hesitation, he activates it. The missile ignites. Using it as a roaring booster, Atami launches himself toward the front of the train. Steel screams. Fire roars. The final confrontation begins. Dragunov is stronger. Faster. More brutal. He gains the upper hand. But Atami endures. With the last of his strength, Atami detaches the still active missile from the train. And sends it directly into Dragunov. The explosion is absolute. Dragunov is erased. The hunt is over. With his enemy dead, Atami recovers what remains of his home. Using the train car itself, he transports it back across the Finnish border. No one dares stop him now. Back in Finland, Atami rebuilds his house. Log by log. Hammer by hammer. Several Finnish men approach him and offer their help. No words are exchanged. Atami accepts with a silent nod. At last, he has peace. They took his family. They took his land. But they could not take his will. If you enjoyed this cinematic recap, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more intense movie stories, and comment below. Was Atami Corpi driven by revenge, or by love? Until next time, stay relentless.